Hello everybody, I'm Ian from Beast, and thank you very much for joining us today. Apologies for being ever so slightly late, just one or two badgers to usher out the kitchen, keep them out of the way. So we've got rid of them now, which is ideal, and now we're ready to do some drawing. So today I'll be showing you how to draw a skate goat, not a scapegoat as Maddie has been keen to point out to me. But a skate goat. This goat's going to be going mad on a skateboard, much like ourselves, mad as a box of frogs at Beast. So hopefully by the end of the video you're going to have a great but very silly picture to enjoy. Now, things that you will need today are, number one, a pencil. One of these, a magnificent creation if ever there was one. We are also going to be in need of a rubber or a razor. I've got this thing that I've had for absolutely donkeys, so never let me down. Rubbed out more than I care to admit. Okay, and a piece of white paper. I've just got a piece of A4 printer paper, any sort will do. A pen, black pen ideally. I've got this artist sketching pen, but you can use any sort you like. You're a biro, fine liner, felt tip, whatever floats your goat. Get it? Whatever floats your goat? No, okay, never mind. And also, weirdly, a cereal bowl. Yeah. So any old sort of cereal bowl, breakfast bowl will do. Take the cereal out first, otherwise it can be rather embarrassing when you spray cereal all over your picture. We'll find it very funny, but it won't help you draw a picture. Ideally, your bowl will be smaller than the size of your piece of paper. So you see I've got a bit of a gap at the top and bottom. That's what we're going to aim for with that. And also a ruler or something. I mean, you could use the edge of a book or anything to make a straight line with on the page. We only need to make one straight line. So any old thing that's straight, or you can do it freehand. If you've got absolutely mad drawing skills, do it freehand. I will applaud you very loudly. So, excellent. So as I say, I am Ian from Beast. Those of you who are just joining us, welcome. Today we're drawing a skate goat. This goat is going to be going loopy, in that it's going to be doing a loop-the-loop because it has got mad skating skills. Goats are pretty intelligent, just like the turbo pig we drew last week, and they've got incredible balance. So within a few minutes of being born, so I'm informed, they're up and about taking their first steps. So not bad, not bad. So riding a skateboard and doing a loop-the-loop is going to be an absolute piece of cherry pie, absolute doddle. So that's what we're here to draw today. So let's get started. Step one, as they say, it's a good place to start, as good as any. Take your cereal bowl. Remember, the cereal bowl is empty of cereal, milk, all other detritus. To put it down on your page, roughly in the middle. Leave a bit of space at the bottom and the top. And then you're just going to draw round the bowl. Too easy. Now, you won't be able to see what I'm drawing at the minute, but when I take the bowl away, you will. And as if by magic, a perfect circle. How about that? Okay, you put the bowl to one side. Not going to need that fella again. Now we're going to draw an inner circle. If your circle is the same size as mine, I don't want to go too much bigger than that, so I'm going to draw a circle within a circle. If you're not confident drawing freehand, you can use something else that's round, that's a bit smaller than the bowl you just used. So like you could use this piece, like a roll of tape, if you've got a large roll of tape or something like that. I'm going to draw freehand. I'm going to wing it, in other words. Don't worry if it's not perfectly even, doesn't matter, we're just here to have fun. Okay, so let's draw around this circle, trying to keep roughly the same distance away the whole way around. It's not going to be perfect drawing freehand, but hey, who cares? We're just having fun. That was a bit of a dodgy bit. Don't worry about it though, because we're nearly there. And look at that. I mean, I would like to say you'd never know that I drew it freehand, but you can definitely tell. But not to worry, doesn't matter. So take your ruler or straight line or whatever you've got. You can use the edge of a book, use a table mat, as long as it's a straight edged one, edge of a notepad, anything. just going to put this ruler at the bottom of the page. I'm just going to draw a straight line across. It doesn't really matter how far it goes. I'm going to go fairly far. We can always rub bits out later if we want. So, see what I mean? So we've got a straight line at the bottom, a sort of ring straight above it. Okay, this ring is going to be the structure of the loop that this crazy goat's going to be whizzing around. So we're going to draw a little bit of a ramp for the goat to get up and a ramp for the goat to come down off. If you're just joining us, g'day. We are drawing a skate goat today. I'm Ian from Bewilderbeast. If you do join in and draw along, or you're watching this later and draw a goat going around this ramp, doing a loop-the-loop, it'd be awesome to see your drawings. So please tag in at Bewilderbeast Art on Facebook or at Bewilderbeast on Instagram. That would be absolutely mega. We'd love to see what you've drawn. If you colour it in as well, even better, even cooler. So I'm going to be colouring this in afterwards, just for a bit of fun. All right, so next step, I'm just going to go roughly down in line with the outer edge of that ring. Draw a little dot there. I mean, let's move a little marker a little bit further along. So you can see I'm a little bit further out on the outside. And same over here. So come to the edge of your ring here. And I'm just going to move out a little bit, come down, and make another little marker there. Okay. Now this is to draw the ramp parts of the loop structure. So where this curves down, where we get to about the middle here, instead of following the curve up and round the other side again, we're just going to draw a straight line coming down to this outer point. Okay, that's going to make the off ramp part. So I'm going to go straight across. Oh yeah. Okay. And then same on the other side. When it gets down to the very middle bit, we're just going to go straight across here. And in a second, we're going to rub out a small bit so that we don't mess things up later. Okay, so round to the middle and straight line across. Oh, absolutely nailed it. If you're not confident on drawing a straight line across there, cunning tip, use your trusty ruler. Top tip, how about that? I've also got a little green fly. Go on, mate, go away. He'll join in a bit. So don't mind him. Take your rubber or a razor or whatever you want to call it, and we're just going to rub out this little line here, okay? Because otherwise I'm a bit dim and it's going to confuse me later. So rub that bit out. Don't worry if you rub a little bit of the ring out, that's fine. And we're also going to rub out this little bit of the line here, that little bit of the curved line, and hopefully that will remind us not to draw that bit later. Okay. Right, perfect, look at that. Okay, so we should have a straight line off there. So the idea being, our goat, our mad goat, is going to come firing in here, round, up, round, and shoot off out this far side. That's the idea. Okay. Now, if you're just joining us, welcome to Bewilderbeast, doing an online tutorial. I'm Ian, and we're drawing a skate goat today. So far, we've drawn the structure of the loop that this goat's going to be firing round, and we're now going to do a little bit of magic. How about that? Are you impressed? I'm impressed. Yeah, I just turned the paper upside down because we want our goat to be partway around the loop. That would be the most fun. It's a bit boring if he's just started at the very bottom. So we turn the page upside down, and now to start drawing our goat on a skateboard. So, nice and easy. I'm going to put my goat, I mean you can put him wherever you like around here. I'm going to put my goat sort of roughly here. I'm going to put his board here, and my goat's going to be around here. Alright, so to start with, I'm going to draw skateboard wheels. I'm going to do them fairly big for you to be able to see on the recording. Let's go. That's one wheel. I'm going to put the other wheel, I don't know, somewhere here. See how you go. And you can do a little sort of inner circle in each circle there. Great. Don't worry if they're not exactly the same size. Doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. Okay. I'm just going to blow this little critter here. You can see him. He's make his way across the page. Oh, he was tenacious, but there we are. He's off now. He's in a happier place. He'll be able to wander off elsewhere and enjoy his day elsewhere. Okay, next we're going to draw the board coming over these wheels. Okay, so simple as we're just going to draw a bit of a straight line. I'm going to make it come. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly touching the top of the wheels. That's fine. We're just going to draw something like that. Straight line there, lovely. And then skateboards have got a little bit of a flick at the end, so I'm going to draw a little bit of a flick up and a little bit of a flick up at the back, and I'm going to make it curve around into like a long, very odd sort of sausage shape, really. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Marvelous. So we've got the wheels and we've got the board. If you want to, if like mine, if your board's not perfectly touching your wheels, don't worry. Underneath skateboards are the little metal bits. I think, are they called the truck, or is the whole thing the truck? I'm not sure. Not mad into my skateboarding, more of a rollerblading sort of guy. So now it's time to start drawing the goat. We're going to draw the body first, and this guy's going to be going at serious pace. Okay, so he's going to be leaning back because he's got some serious centrifugal force keeping him on his board as he flies around this loop-the-loop. So to make it look a bit like he's sort of really leaning into the into the board and everything, instead of drawing the goat coming straight up from here where he could just fall off and he'll land on his head, which would be embarrassing for everybody, we're going to draw his body off up and a little to the back a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So go to roughly in the middle of your board, and we're going to come roughly sort of line roughly out from there. This is just a guideline. This is just going to help me know where to draw him. And you can see here the angle between the board and the line I've just drawn, that's a right angle there. Okay, so don't worry about if it's not a perfect right angle, doesn't matter. But basically I just want a straight line coming up there, and I'm going to rub out that little bit so I don't want to confuse people too much. There we are. And we're going to draw a rectangle. Okay, and the rectangle, this is going to be one line of our rectangle, one edge if you like, and then you'll see what I mean. I'm going to draw a rectangle coming back across here, and it's going to hang over the back of the board a little bit. Okay, and this line here that I'm drawing is roughly in line with the board. Okay, so two parallel lines. Alright, and I'll come up here a little bit, and top line of the rectangle and the fourth line. Okay, so we've got what looks like a weird little box just hovering in the air at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, so if you're just tuning in at the moment to this very daft drawing tutorial, my name's Ian, and this is a Bewilderbeast drawing tutorial. It's going to be very silly. We are drawing a skateboarding goat doing the loop, something I'm sure all of you have seen at one time or another. I know I have. And if you do draw along today, it'd be awesome if you could share a picture of what you draw on @BewilderbeastArt on Facebook, or @BewilderBeast on Instagram. If it's coloured in, even better. Alright, so we've got this random floating rectangle here. Now we're going to draw within this. This box is just a frame to help us draw. Okay, within this we're going to draw an oval sort of shape. It's going to fill that box. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm going to draw round, bit of an oval sort of shape. Don't worry if it's not perfect, doesn't matter. None of this matters if it's not perfect. I don't think I've ever drawn the same thing twice perfectly in the same way before, so don't worry. And yeah, at the minute looks a bit like a sort of like a pillar or a lozenge or something. So I want my goat to be a little bit tubbier, so I'm just going to draw outside the box. Think outside the box, as they say. Same on the top. Let's give him a bit of extra weight. All right, you don't have to do that if you feel like your goat's already, this is the main bit of the goat body, if you feel it's already looking quite nice and round, you can leave it, that's fine. Okay, and then we're going to go from this bottom corner of the box here. Let me rub out this bit so you can see what I mean a bit easier. go from this bottom corner here in a diagonal line down to over the top of one of these wheels, okay, over the front wheel. So rough diagonal line there, doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight, and then we're going to join it up to the main bit of the body, and when it gets to where it meets the body, rather than just going straight across, we're just going to curve it up around a little bit, okay? You'll see why in a bit. Alright, at the back of the goat, this is the back of the goat here, we're going to draw sort of coming out on a diagonal, we're going to draw another oval coming out here, okay? And it's sort of, I don't know, sort of vaguely oval shape like that, coming on a bit of a diagonal out the back, you see what I mean? So if I was to draw a line through the center of the oval there, you see it's a bit of a diagonal angle coming out there, okay? So this is all going to look a little bit confusing. If you want to make it a little bit easier for you later on to see what's going on, then you can just rub out this line here, okay? So I'm going to do that now. You don't have to, you can leave it, it's no problem, but I just want it to be a little bit clearer for everybody to see what I've done. Okay, so we've got the main body and a little oval out the back, poking out the back. Okay, this body comes round, so where the back of the goat, where this oval intersects this oval, we're just going to draw, I'll show you up here and then you can follow what I draw. We're going to draw this sort of shape, okay? I don't really know what to describe that shape as. Maybe it's going to make this oval look a bit like a baked bean, okay? So you'll see what I mean. You can see I've drawn that little dip and then a bump, and then the top of the bump joins round onto this oval, all right? Okay, then we're coming round under the oval we've drawn, and then we're going to bring in a diagonal line on the same sort of angle as this line was drawn. We've got one coming over to above the back wheel, okay? All looks really weird at the minute, but that's fine. Okay, that's going to be part of the back leg. You see my little tubby goat tummy under here? People always tell me I've got a tubby goat tummy. I've got over it now, that's fine. We're just going to come where the oval cuts the oval, the big body oval that we drew earlier. I'm just going to come down in a straight line from there down to the board. Don't worry if it's on a slightly weird angle or anything like that, or it's not perfectly straight or anything. Doesn't matter. So that's going to be the back leg. Looks pretty weird at the minute. Don't worry about it. Okay, coming on to the front leg. This is the front of the front leg. So come back a little bit on this oval of the body, and we're going to, you'll see what I do here. I'm going to come halfway down the leg, and when I get about halfway down, it's got like this weird little knobbly sort of elbow bit almost on the back, or a little tufty bit more than anything. So I'm just going to draw that in as a little bit of extra detail, and then I'm going to come down the rest of the way. Okay, so you come down. I did a little tufty nobble, and down the rest of the way, and there we go. So we're starting to get a bit of the legs drawn here, bit of shape to it. G'day if you're just joining us. I am Ian from Wildebeest, and we're drawing a scapegoat. It's totally stupid, no help to anyone, but it's a lot of fun to draw. And I'm just going to get rid of that weird little squiggle up top there, because we don't need him anymore. So let's go to the legs. Let's give them some hooves. Now you can do these in two ways. You can either just draw a line straight across, that's absolutely fine, or if you want to give him sort of slightly tufty socks above his hooves, I'm just going to do little sort of zigzags across, and the zigzag can come out over the edge of the hoof. I'll do the same on the front one. See what I mean here? I'll just look like a bit of fur spilling over the edge of his hooves. Okay, now let's draw the hooves on the far side of or the legs on the far side of the goat that you can't quite see at the minute. And to do that, we're just going to come to the bottom of his tummy, slightly to the right of the leg we just drew. It's going to be quite a thin width that we come down on, and just follow the line of the leg we drew a moment ago, and you come all the way down to the board. Okay, same at the front. We'll just come a little bit to the right of the front leg, and you can sort of follow the curve around here a little bit, and all the way down, come straight down to the board. And again, you can give them a little bit of a tufty back hoof and a tufty front hoof there. Okay, so it all looks a bit weird at the minute, but that's fine. We'll be rubbing some bits out later. Okay, now moving on to the head. He's really bracing against that board because he's going so fast. So we're going to do the same with his head. We've got the legs angle back. We're going to angle the head back a bit, and the head and the neck back a bit as well. Okay, so following the same sort of angle that we did there, you'll see I'm going to come to the front of his chest here, and I'm coming in a straight line up there. It doesn't matter, you can do that straight line on all the way if you want. It doesn't matter, it's just a guide at the moment. Okay, and then we're going to think, well, how thick do you think this goat's neck should be? I'm going to say mine's going to be fairly thin neck. I'm just going to do, I think that's probably about a centimetre or so. I'm just going to do another line following the same angle as that line. Another line up. Again, doesn't matter, you can do it as long as you like. I mean, to be honest, you could probably draw a llama if you wanted now, a really long-necked llama or something, but that's not what we're doing. We're drawing a goat. So, now for the head of the goat, I'm going to do another oval. It's all about ovals today. And this oval is going to overlap this line that we drew. Okay? It's not going to overlap this line, but it might get close to it. That's absolutely fine. In fact, let's say, yeah, we're going to go up to that line, and we're going to totally overlap this line. So here we go. I'm going to draw an oval, and there we go. That is the sort of skull of our goatee friend, who's absolutely caning it around this loop-the-loop. Okay, so hopefully you've done that, and then we're going to draw just a little line up here. You can make it a little bit of a thick line if you like. That's going to be his nose, and we'll give him a mouth as well. He's kind of clenching his teeth because when you're going this fast, I mean, that's all you can do is grit your teeth and hang on. So I'm just going to draw a bit of a sort of weird sausage shape there, and then a line through the middle, and that's going to be his teeth. If you want, you can add in some teeth by just drawing lines straight across. In fact, I'll do that now with you. He's really gritting his teeth. Okay, goats as well, Billy Goat's gruff, as they say, often got little hairs on their chinny chin. So we'll draw some hairs, and you can do any sort of little tufty hairs you like down here. I'm just going to go for the old classic look. A few little tufts coming down there at the bottom. Let's give him an ear so we can hear what's going on. This ear is going to be flying out behind him because he's going so fast. So we're just going to do a sort of leaf shape, really, coming directly out. You can make it quite big if you want him to have big ears. See what I mean by a leaf shape? Okay, and then do the same shape, but just within the one you just drew. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's give them some horns. Goats are known for headbutting people, and that's one reason why it's very hard to have a conversation with a goat, because they're always butting in. Get it? No? Okay, never mind. We'll carry on. Let's draw the back horn here, or horn on this side of the goat. So to do that, nice and easy, you're going to do a big curved line up. You can make the horns bigger, smaller, whatever you like. I'm just drawing a sort of horn shape, really, nice and easy. All right, and then the second horn, just come a little bit to the right of what you just drew. Follow the same sort of curve. If it overlaps the other one, doesn't really matter. I might even do a slightly different size to the first one. Absolutely fine. Okay. You can give the horns a bit of detail. I'm going to do some rings on the horns. Now I'm going to curve my rings in a slight smiley shape. See what I mean? A little bit of a curve to them. It just makes the horns look a little bit more sort of cylindrical in shape. You do that right the way up. The horns like so. Absolute doddle. Perfect, looking great. Now there's something I've forgotten. Try and put my finger on it. Eyes. I see. He doesn't see, but he will do. Let's draw some eyes. So, nice and easy. This goat is wide-eyed and staring. So, because it's going so fast, so would you be if you're whizzing around the loop upside down at 100 miles an hour, however quick this chap's going. So, we're going to draw one eye. We've got this oval we drew before. I'm going to come just under this line of the oval, and you can make the eyes as big as you like. I'm going to make mine quite big. Again, I'm all about the ovals at the minute. That looks a bit weird, but don't worry, we're going to draw another one above the line, roughly similar size. I mean, you can go different sizes if you want it to look even weirder. Roughly the same sort of size. And I'm just going to put a pupil in the middle. Oh man, this guy looks absolutely. He's either terrified or loving it. I think probably a little bit of both. Okay. One little thing to add. Tufty tail out the back. So we'll come to the back of the goat, wherever you feel, and we'll just add a little bit of a tufty tail out the back. Now, like I did a few zigzags on the chinny chin chin. You can do the same here if you like. Just makes it look a little bit furrier. Is fur the right word for goats? Coats? I don't know. But there we are. That's what I've called it anyway. If you want to smooth the sharpness of the angle here where the neck meets the body, just do a little bit of a curve around there. That's fine. See what you think anyway. All right, awesome. We've got the outline. One final thing to do, which is probably easiest whilst it's all this way up, is to take your pencil, and we want to show that this guy's going fast. And he's not just going fast in a straight line, he's going fast in a curve. So to do that, to make that look like that, we're going to do some speed lines coming round the curve. Don't worry if they're not perfectly accurate, but I'm just going to fire them round. If they overlap, doesn't matter. Whoa, this guy has got absolute pace. You even put a few little smaller lines coming under the wheels of the skateboard. Wow. And then if you want, let's throw in a few little speed lines. If you do these little humps sometimes, it can look like speed even more. They're sort of like movement lines, so show him sort of rumbling along and speeding along. I'll do a couple of smaller ones over here. I'll maybe throw in some grip, some little bits being kicked up by the wheels. See how we go. Okay, awesome guys, well done. If you're keeping up so far, you're doing marvellously, and we are going to move on to the mighty pen. All right, so if you are just joining us at this point, or you're catching up later, this is Ian from Broadbeast drawing a skateboarding goat. You can see what we've drawn so far. We're about to go over it in pen, and we're going to go over some lines and not other lines, just like we did in our Turbo Pig drawing tutorial last week. Basically, if we go over some lines and not others, then you'll be able to rub out the leftover pencil marks, and you'll be left with an awesome looking picture without all the messiness and weirdness that it looks like at the moment, because right now it looks a bit odd. Okay, so let's stick with the paper this way up for now, and we're going to start where we started on the skateboarding goat earlier, which is on the wheels. So if, like me, you did a bit of a dodgy wheel at all or anything like that, don't worry, we're going around it in pen. You can tidy it up. Shoot round that wheel and the inner bit, round this wheel and the inner bit. Technical term there, so hope you can handle my jargon. And then we're going to draw the board. All right, just trace the board. Simple as. Absolute cherry pie. I'm sure somebody says that. I mean, I've probably literally never said that in my life, other than in this video, but never mind. Trace that. Is it easy as apple pie? Maybe not cherry pie. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, getting distracted. So I'm gonna start at the back of the goat here, underneath the tail. Potentially a risky place to start, but we'll see. And you see where we drew that sort of weird sort of baked bean shape earlier. Ignore that line. Ignore this line. You'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to start there. I'm going to follow the curve round. Okay. And then I'm going to follow down to the bottom. of his leg. Okay, you'll see what I mean. Hopefully the pen's thick enough, you can clear enough. You can see the sort of shape that I've made. I'm going to give him his little tufty socks. I'm calling them socks. That is definitely not the technical term, but that's fine. And I'm going to come up the leg, and when I get to where this sort of bottom of the baked bean is, I'm just going to come up to about halfway up, and that's going to make the goat's back leg and sort of thigh. Okay, I'm not going to follow round the rest of the way. Okay, I'm just going to come part way up. Right, let's draw this tummy, my little tubby goat tummy, and I'll get to the front leg, and when I get to the front leg, I'm going to stop. Okay, coming back to the back legs, do the second back leg we drew earlier. Tufty, nice, lovely. Don't forget to draw his hooves on. You can colour them in a little hoof colour later. Great. I mean, this guy is really bracing. He's bracing himself on that board. He has got mad skills. He's got great balance, but if he doesn't hang in there, we're going to have I won't say a flat goat. I don't think he's going to go flat, but he's going to be skidding along on his backside, which will be hilarious for the rest of us, but no good for him. Now, front leg. Down here, we've got that weird little knobbly bit we drew earlier. Go around that. Give him his tufty socks. Lovely job. And up the other side. Okay. When we get up to the top here, you might just want to follow the curve of his sort of chest round a bit. And in fact, you can follow right up to the neck, to where the neck meets the head. I'm going to go all the way up to where the neck meets the head. Perfect. Don't forget this other front leg that's sort of in the background there. Just trace the line you drew before. Give him a bit of a tuft. Don't forget the hooves. Hooves, hooves, hooves. Lovely. Okay. Apparently goats were one of the first animals that was domesticated by humans. So this guy, I think, is aiming to get back to this wild side and get away from everybody. Who can blame him? All right. Now, we've got this oval for the head, okay? The oval goes all the way around to the back of the neck, but we're not going to do that. We're going to come to halfway between the back of the neck and the front of the neck, and we're going to start there on the oval, okay? And we're going to follow that oval round to his eyes. You can go right through the middle of the eyes up to this horn, okay? So you see what I mean here. Starting in the middle, coming round, and up to the top. Marvellous, well done. I'm going to do his little tufty chin at the minute, as I can't resist it. Yeah, lovely job. There we go, lovely. I'll draw his little nose on. Just a nice simple line there. You make it a little bit thicker if you like. Okay, I'm going to draw his mouth, that little sausage shape, with his gritted teeth as he clings on for dear life, and the little lines coming across. Like it. Okay, let's draw from the bottom of his ear, if you can see that, down his neck, okay, coming down towards the body. Don't forget earlier I did a little bit of a flick round just to smooth out that angle there, so it's not such a sharp angle between the body and the neck. So coming down, flick round, and then I'm going to go along the top of his body, along his back, get to his tail. Let's draw the tufty tail as well. Just love tufty tails. Here we go. Wonderful. All right, let's draw his ear. That leaf shape, the leaf shape coming out, just tracing what I did before, and the inner leaf shape for the inner part of the ear. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but in my professional opinion, for what it's worth, probably not a lot. I love colouring in the inside of animals' ears bright pink. Don't know, something about it just looks great in my opinion, but you colour whatever colour you like. Now, let's draw these horns. Quite big horns on this goat. Not sure I'd like being head-butted by him, but I'm just tracing around the outside of the horn. Horn number one. You see here, I've come down a little bit below the outside of the oval that we drew for the head. Just, it makes it look a little bit more 3D in that it's sort of on this side of the goat, closest to us. The second horn, you just come down to the oval, not down below it, and that'll just make it look a little bit more like it's on the far side of the goat. Okay, tracing the horns. Okay, I'm going to do our little rings round the horns, make them look a little bit cylindrical by giving them a slight sort of curve in that ring going round. Give him his eyes, trace the eyes exactly. 1, 2, look at those big bug eyes. Don't forget the little dots in the middle. He is caning it. And that is the goat drawn, but let's draw these speed lines. Don't worry if you don't go over them exactly. I'm going to play fast and loose with this, bit like this goat. I'm just going to flick round. And remember, we're trying to follow roughly the curve of the loop here when we do this. So I'm just drawing some straight, quick lines. Don't be too worried about it. You do a couple of small ones coming out the bottom of the wheels of the goat's skateboard. And then remember those little sort of hump shapes we made? Just randomly put a few in wherever you like. It just gives the impression of movement. Alright, okay, that is the goat drawn there. Now, if you're keeping up, we're going to pull the same magic we pulled earlier. Not everybody can do it. See how you get on. 3, 2, 1. Oh, magic. We turned it upside down. Okay, it wasn't as impressive as all that, but you see now why it's so much easier to turn the page around to draw the goat the sort of right way up, if you like, than to try and draw this whole thing upside down. It could be very confusing. Now, we've got to draw around in pen the loop bit we drew earlier. So remember, we rubbed out a couple of lines. Don't do what I've done in the past. Draw back over those lines. That would be very silly. So I'm going to start here on the far left hand side of our little on ramp where the goat goes flying onto, and I'm going to draw until I get to the circle. You can use your ruler here if you like. I'm going to now draw right the way across the bottom until we get to that point on the far right. I'm doing it freehand because I'm an absolute maverick, but you can do it with a ruler, that's no problem. Don't worry if it's a little bit wibbly wobbly. Okay, now you can hopefully see that I'm going to do the inner circle next. You can do it in several bits, and this inner circle, when it comes round to here, you are going to keep going on until you join up with that point. So you'll see what I mean here. So inner circle. Don't worry if you have to do it in bits. You can even start over this side and just trace that line you drew earlier. Now, when you get to where the wheels are, ideally, you want this inner circle to meet the wheels, okay? So hopefully they're already resting on it. Shows that the goat's speeding right the way around. As you can see, I'm doing this all freehand. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm getting towards the end here. Off ramp. Pow. Nice. Okay, now I've got the outer circle to do. And this time, when the outer circle comes around here, you're going to come round and under until it joins up with the bottom. Okay, so again, I'm going freehand. You can use the bowl you used earlier if you want, if you can match it up exactly. Remember earlier we got the bowl out and we just plonked it down there. If you want to use that to get a nice neat line, you can do so. If you've got mad skills, carry on whichever way you like. Remember guys, once we finish this, it would be awesome, absolutely brilliant if you could send us a picture by tagging us in on Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram we are at Bewilderbeast, and on Facebook we are at Bewilderbeast Art. See, I'm coming around the bottom here. So if you do draw this, send us a picture. I want to see it. I want to see it. I love seeing other people's drawings. Okay, right, look at that. Still looks quite messy. Looks a bit weird, bit messy. Don't worry about it. Bring back the rubber. All right. We're just going to rub out all over, anywhere there's pencil lines. And then the theory being, if we were being clever beans, we're just going to be left with a brilliant picture at the end. Okay, so as they say, watch this. I mean, you already are, so that's kind of irrelevant to say, really, but there we are. Too late now. Okay, so I'm just going to fire around this, doing... Apologies if the screen shakes. The camera is attached to the table, which, in hindsight, not the cleverest thing I've ever done, but never mind, too late now. And hopefully all those weird lines that were on there before, like the box and the various ovals and things, will all be rubbed away, and you'll be left with a fun little goat whizzing round the loop, upside down, absolutely caning it. How about that? Hey, bravo, well done everybody, well done. Excellent, so there you have it. That is our scapegoat. I'm going to call him, I think this will be Gordon the goat. And if you want to put a bit of extra detail on, you can put a bit of detail around the sort of the loop here. Let's call it a loop the loop 5000. Top tip, a massive number makes it sound impressive. Cool, awesome, well done everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, send us a picture of your scapegoats. I'd love to see it. Colour them in, have fun with them. I mean, you can do a few of these if you want. I would actually say as well, you'll see that being a bit of a fool that I am, I did actually rub out the lines joining the board onto the wheels. Doesn't matter too much. If you do that, like I have, just join it back on a bit again. There we are, magic. All right, yeah, absolutely love doing that. So well done to everybody who joined in and everybody who's had a look. That's great. Enjoy. And what would make me happier than a goat with a bowl full of berries would be if you shared a picture of the goat you drew by tagging @BuilderBeastArt on Facebook or @BuilderBeast on Instagram. And if you enjoyed today's tutorial, then please tell your friends and family and any goats you know. Goats love to draw too. And there will be another drawing tutorial next week when we'll be drawing, drum roll or something like that, a catapult. So yeah, I'll leave you to have a little think on what I might be angling at with that. I think probably some of you can guess. But anyway, well done guys, enjoy, and we'll catch you again next time. Adios.